Why do 12 stones stand for the 12 tribes of Israel? And why does a 7-day siege speak of completion, hinting that God's people have truly inherited the promised land? Stay with me until the end of this video, and you'll uncover the story of the Battle of Jericho. Some walls aren't built from stone alone. They're built from threats, from fear, from memory, fear stacked on fear. And there are days when, to move forward, all you need is steady faith to take one more step on a hard road. In front of Israel lies the Jordan River, cold, fast, relentless, like it could carry away every last trace of hope. Behind them is the wilderness, where sand clings to skin and cloth, where the past still tastes like dust. They have walked too far to turn back. They have waited too long to hesitate now. Joshua stands at the bank, watching the current, listening to winds snap through reeds, and feeling the weight of a promise, the weight of a mission meant for an entire nation. The two spies return. They report that in Canaan, doors are barred shut. In Jericho, eyes glare outward with anger and dread. The whole land is trembling, they say, because they've heard what the Lord has done for us. That news should have eased every heart. But Joshua understands something deeper. An enemy's fear doesn't mean the road will be easy. Jericho still stands massive, unshaken, its walls cutting the horizon, its gates shut tight like iron teeth. And before they can touch Jericho, they must cross the Jordan. Joshua orders the people to prepare not with rafts or ropes, but by surrendering their hearts. He tells them to follow the Ark of the Covenant and keep their distance, because the holy presence of God will go before them and lead the way. Levite priests lift the ark and step down to the water's edge. Their faces are set, their hands grip the poles. No one shouts, "Charge!" There is only the slap of water against the bank and the pounding of hearts inside rib cages. Then it happens right at the moment their feet touch the river. The Jordan stills. Upstream, the waters rise and hold, as if stopped by an invisible wall. Downstream, the river drains away, exposing slick mud and dark earth heavy with the smell of silt. The priests stand firm in the middle, living markers holding the ark at the center of the miracle. And Israel steps down. Children clutch their mothers' robes. The elderly lean hard on their staff. Warriors tighten their grip on shield and spear. Each foot sinks into cold mud. Each breath turns dry with disbelief. They walk through a place that should have been roaring water and hidden stones, yet today it becomes a passage, wide enough for an entire people. Joshua chooses 12 men, one from each tribe, and commands them to bend down and lift 12 stones from the very spot where the priests are standing. The stones are wet, dark, and heavy on their shoulders, but Joshua wants them remembered. He wants future generations to ask, "Why are these stones here?" So a father can answer, "Because the Lord opened a way for us." When the last person reaches the far bank, the priests step out of the riverbed, and at once the Jordan surges back into place. The current returns as if it had never been interrupted. But in Israel's heart, something has shifted. Fear doesn't vanish overnight, yet faith grows strong enough to stand. They camp at Gilgal, on the plain facing Jericho. Night falls, campfires flicker. The scent of smoke and roasted meat mixes with damp earth after the crossing. In the distance, Jericho sits in darkness, cold and silent like a stone heart. Inside the city, they bolt the gates, add more guards, whisper about the people carrying a holy chest and a story no one can explain. The king of Jericho commands it. No one out, no one in. The walls feel untouchable. That night at Gilgal, Joshua barely sleeps. He walks between the tents, hearing children stir, the wood crackling in the fire, and soldiers trading watch. And every time he looks up, he sees Jericho's shadow looming like a question with no words. He knows this. If Israel gives in to fear today, they will fall apart tomorrow. So he clings to God's word like an anchor in a storm. But the Lord does not hand Joshua a ladder. He does not hand him siege engines. He gives him a command: march around the city once each day for 6 days. On the 7th day, march around it 7 times. Let 7 priests blow shofars before the ark, not a trumpet blast to show off strength, but the sound of obedience. The next morning, they move out. The air is cool, but dust already rises beneath their feet. 7 priests carry shofars in front. Behind them come the priests with the ark, and behind them the soldiers and the entire people. Joshua gives a single order: silence. Jericho watches from above. They expect ladders, they expect hammers, they expect arrows. But there is only the steady rhythm of footsteps, the rasp of cloth against armor, and the strange, lingering call of the shofar, like it's summoning something beyond human reach. Day 2, they march again. Day 3 is still the same. The silence grows thicker until you can hear everything. Gravel grinding under sandals, the strained breathing of the weak, the questions rising inside a human heart. Is this really it? Some look at the walls and swallow hard. Some lower their eyes, embarrassed by how simple the plan seems. But Joshua does not change the command. He keeps his gaze forward like a man who has already stepped onto dry ground in the middle of the Jordan and cannot return to the old life of doubt. Inside Jericho, fear begins to take on a new shape. It's no longer fear of swords. It's the fear of what they cannot understand. They watch Israel circle the city like a tightening ring around pride itself. Some mock from the walls, some hurl insults down toward the gate. But the laughter dies quickly when they remember the stories of the Red Sea and a God who can command water to stop. The gate remains shut, the walls remain standing, but hearts begin to tremble. Then the 7th day comes. Joshua wakes the people early. Dew still clings to the grass. The air feels compressed, heavy with the approach of something final. Today, he says, you will march 7 times. The first circuit is silent. The second, dust rises higher. The third, the sun climbs, and light spills over the stone like a blade. 4th, 5th, 6th. Feet keep moving. Shofars keep sounding. Throats grow dry. Muscles burn. Yet no one dares break the silence Joshua commanded. Then the 7th circuit begins. In Jericho, people grip the top of the wall, eyes wide, hands locked around spears, as if waiting for the city itself to collapse. Joshua tightens his fists. His eyes never leave the ark. When they complete the final circle, Joshua raises his hand as a signal. The priests blow a long, piercing blast. The sound cuts through the wind, echoes off stone, shakes inside the chest, and rolls through every narrow street in the city. And Joshua shouts, "Shout! For the Lord has given you the city!" All Israel roars as one. The shout surges like a wave across the plain and crashes against the wall. And then comes a cracking sound, at first small, like pottery splitting, then violent like thunder. Cracks race through stone and brick. The wall trembles, dust falls like rain, and in a heartbeat the human eye can barely grasp that Jericho's wall collapses, not one stone at a time. But as a single monument of pride was pulled down, a way into the city opens right in front of them, as though the earth itself is making room. Joshua commands them forward. Jericho falls. Yet in the chaos, one place is preserved, one home marked by a scarlet cord hanging like the seal of a covenant. Rahab, the woman who hid the spies and trusted the God of Israel, is spared along with her family. A promise kept amid ash, amid running feet, amid stones still settling into silence. And when it's over, Israel looks at the ruins and understands. This victory did not come from human strength. It came from obedience. The Jordan opened, Jericho fell. God did not merely lead them through a river and into a city. He taught them how to walk by faith, even when his commands seemed to contradict human logic. And in that obedience, the old fear is peeled away layer by layer, revealing a people learning at last what it means to trust. But Jericho is only the beginning. Beyond the first fallen wall, more battles are waiting, battles that will test faithfulness and the choices of an entire community. Like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the next Bible stories.